The Morning Watch is brought to you with the kind sponsorship of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
In Jamaica, I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also check us out on Love 101 FM, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live in the main watch today. Finding our way to a mentally healthy society. Where, why, and how. In the second watch, the impact of the JCF, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, via social media. In our social media question, we ask, what do you think of the JCF social media campaign so far? Share your responses on our Facebook or YouTube Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your comments later on the program, but first is I quote.
All right, today's I quote is a Tony Evans quote, and it says, "Peace doesn't mean that you will not have problems. Peace means that your problems will not have you." And that's it. That's the end of the I quote.
Is it a riddle?
I'm not sure, no, but it says it's from Tony Evans.
Is it like a proverb?
It could be a proverb.
So if you live by this I quote, will everything be well?
Let's see. Have peace and let's see.
It doesn't mean that you will not have problems. Peace means that your problems will not have you.
That's right.
The main watch will be back. On this break.
I am a man, yes.
You can't afford to miss this week's episode of The Mailbox as we look at Egotistical Men Part 2. Is the church responsible for egotistical men? Men who have an exaggerated sense of self-importance to believe they are superior to others? Well, you are invited to join the conversation with our esteemed guests, Apostle Courtney McLean, Head Pastor of Worship and Faith International Fellowship, WAFIF, and Minister Devon Thaw of the Men's Empowerment Group at WAFIF on Wednesday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. on the family station Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Friday, November 8th at 11:30, join Nadine Blair inside the Morning Express as she chats with O'Neil Ricardo about his musical journey in Christendom. The last time he was here, he got some homework to write a song about Psalm 91. Did he write it? Will he get a good score? Listen this Friday at 11:30 and we will see. Inside the Morning Express with Nadine Blair, here on the family station, Love 101.
Let everything that
You're invited to listen to Praise Productions with hosts Jace the Performer and Renee as they highlight upcoming gospel ministers. Praise Productions can be heard Wednesdays at 6:40 p.m. Just who will you hear or what will you learn? You never can tell, but you are sure to be lifted and blessed. Praise Productions, where whatever we do produces praise. Praise Productions, Wednesdays
Tuesdays at 6:40 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Oh yes, let's praise him.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I am your host, Stokeley Marshall. Now, for the most part, it is the stigma that comes with having a mental health issue or challenge that might keep some persons from seeking help when they know that they have a problem. But it has been indicated that sharing your story can save you from possible suicide. Well, this morning we're going to be speaking to Dr. Donovan Thomas. He has had to, through his organization, assist persons who are struggling in one way, shape, or form. And this even includes persons who are in the church. How can persons be helped? Our guest, Dr. Donovan Thomas, is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Choose Life International. Good morning, Dr. Donovan Thomas. Are you with us?
Good morning to you, sir, and good morning to our listeners this morning.
Excellent.
I am here with you, sir.
Great having you, Dr. Thomas. Now, what has been happening with our countrymen and countrywomen and their mental health?
Wow. It seems to me that you're jumping off right in the deep.
In the deep
I think
end.
it is important
Right
for
in the
us to
deep
be able to
end.
talk about when we talk about mental health, what are we talking about? And I'd like to be able to just share a little bit on what is mental wellness. At least we create a backdrop to this conversation.
When you say wellness, wellness and health, same thing or it's slightly different things?
Well, health actually talks about the state of the condition. The wellness talks about a positive state of condition. So when we talk about mental health, it is what is the state, what's going on. It can either be positive or negative, but we want to promote mental wellness as much as possible. And it is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. And I'm quoting from WHO 2021. So back to the question now as to what's
When you
going
say
on
WHO,
in Jamaica.
you mean the World Health Organization?
World Health Organization. Yeah, thank you.
I see.
So when we think about what's going on in our country, I think the same World Health Organization in January of this year actually highlights that 20% of Jamaicans struggle with issue regarding positive mental health.
The World Health Organization made that, pronouncement in relation to Jamaica?
Yes. The World Health Organization estimates that 20% of the Jamaican population suffers from some form of mental health issue.
Do you know where they might have gotten those statistics from, or that statistic from?
I am not sure.
Okay.
How they would have arrived at that, this is also quoted in a letter published in the it looks like the Gleaner, a letter to the editor. Janiel McEwan actually wrote that there, as quoting from WHO.
Well,
so as we
go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
As we look at the scenes, we recognize that there are issues impacting Jamaicans in the area of mental health, and we have to consider that there are issues such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse, trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, and bipolar disorder. So there are just significant things going on there.
And in terms of
Yeah,
bipolar disorder, sir, is it that there was some previous name being used in terms of bipolar? Because it would appear as if, for many persons, the term bipolar seems to be fairly recent in our lexicon, or am I wrong?
recent is relative, and
Understood.
you probably need somebody more in the field of psychiatry to be able
Psychiatry. Yes.
to deal with that. And I don't want to make sure that I stay within my lane, even as we
Understood.
have this
Understood.
discussion.
Understood. Understood.
But bipolar disorder is a mental condition that can cause extreme mood swings,
Oh,
ranging from depression to mania.
ah,
These mental health issues can impact people on the job, in the church, in families, and you have the highs and we have the lows um, there.
well, let's go look
So,
at the church for a moment, Dr. Thomas, if I may ask, because only because of time. How has the church helped or not helped those with mental health challenges?
okay. So, the church has contributed significantly to positive mental well-being and impacting mental health. There are many churches that operate counseling centers. There are many church-related organizations like Family Life Ministries, Choose Life International, and other agencies that, as an arm of the church, specialize or focuses on being able to get help for people. So there are avenues of help.
You know what? I'm going to quickly jump in here and ask you this or raise this issue with you, Dr. Thomas. Groups, entities such as Family Life Ministries and Choose Life International, they are not all across the island. And there's also a diaspora, if I could include the diaspora. So where there are pockets or large areas or swaths where there are no such facilities, what do people do? I suppose they can speak to the pastor. I don't know. Help us here.
Yeah, and many churches have people who are trained professionals in there now. Gone are the days when trained psychologists are few and far apart.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And
I'm glad you brought that up. In terms of helping people with mental health challenges, distinguish between, say, pastoral counseling vis-a-vis a psychologist, vis-a-vis someone who will just pray for you. Maybe they'll even do deliverance, because you have these different lanes. You want to start with that before we head to the break?
all right, so Choose Life International believes in the biopsychosocial spiritual model.
Yes.
And so when you think about bio, it talks about the medication, the use of medication to be able to help one's well-being.
Okay.
Then there's the psychologist who does the counseling part of it. There's psychotherapy. Then there's social intervention that is necessary to be able to aid the person that is hungry, the person that is homeless.
Yes.
And then there's the spiritual that is praying through with people. And there's a place, and there's a providing spiritual counseling, the word of God, etc. And we believe that what we need in Jamaica is a holistic approach to providing help and support to those who need help emotionally. And
very interesting response, Dr. Thomas, because you may have persons who may take issue with one or the other of their approaches. Now, is the church equipped for the task of helping people to improve their mental well-being? And by the way, just before you respond, I do see where we are now upon a break. So hold that thought, sir. Listeners, please stay with us today. Very important topic. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Scotiabank invites you to celebrate Christmas in the Park. Enjoy a fun-filled evening of family entertainment on Thursday, December 7 at the Emancipation Park. Come see performances from talented young performers, including the Panoramium Steel Orchestra, Ashe, Voice Box, St. Andrew High School Choir, and more. Live on stage with the sensational gospel superstar Kevin Downswell.
You make me stronger.
That's Scotiabank Christmas in the Park on December 7, 2023. Gates open at 5 p.m. Admission free. Merry Christmas from Scotiabank with Cinco, Grace Kennedy, and Jablom.
Jamaica,
Nobody's getting a solar water heater. Give a gift of energy from Fosrich. Get your emergency bulbs, fridge timers, solar water heater, solar systems from any Fosrich store across Jamaica. Don't forget, in your getting, get your classic and stylish LED downlights of all shapes and sizes. And remember, we're open on Sundays for your shopping pleasure.
Do you have diabetes? Two names you need to know: CareSense and Sure Comfort. The CareSense blood sugar meter provides the latest technology and the lowest priced strips on the market, accurate and easy to use. Sure Comfort insulin syringes, pen needles, and lancets offer the latest in needle technology, making it almost painless. One more name: Jamaica Hospital Supplies, 66 and a half Halfway Tree Road. Call 929-2850. Visit our website.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
Shake and go. Shake and go. Increase the tempo. Shake and go. Nutrition for your lifestyle. Shake and go. Boy, football season kick. Shake and go. Try the delicious new flavors today. Chocolate, vanilla, peanut, and shake and go.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Kay. She loved to dance and play. One day at school, she got very ill, and Mom was left with an unbearable bill. It would be easier if Mom was prepared. With School Companion, 80% of the bill is cleared. Medical care for children is a must for as low as $2,400 per month. Make unbearable medical bills go away. Sign up for Surgical School Companion today.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch. The topic is finding our way to a mentally, my apologies, I read that again. Finding our way to a mentally healthy society. Where, why, and how? The guest is our guest today, Dr. Donovan Thomas, President and Chief Executive Officer of Choose Life International. Choose Life International. Dr. Thomas?
Good day, sir.
Just before the break, sir. Just before the break.
Yeah.
Is the church equipped for the task of helping persons with mental health challenges? Now, just to, sort of indicate the background to why I'm asking the question, some persons might say, that they are saved and sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit. And as such, Jesus has taken care of it all, and all means all, Dr. Thomas. So
that does not prevent them from cancer. It does not prevent them from diabetes or anything else like that. And it does not prevent mental illness either.
Well, help us there, Dr. Thomas. Since you're saying it does not prevent necessarily, walk us through. Is the church equipped, and can Christians have mental
So again,
issues?
The church is such a diverse body. And when you think about the church in Jamaica, you're talking about six groups of churches, the various umbrella arms of churches. So it is so diverse. So I would not attempt to be able to speak for the church general. But let me
Only
make some
6, maybe
observations.
more than 6. But go ahead, Dr. Thomas. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. 6 main groups, and then there's the
Yes.
Jamaica umbrella group of church. But
Understood.
so the people in the church is made up of people in the society who are the doctors and the nurses and those who are mentally ill and so forth. Those persons are there. So the church has the potential to be able to intervene at one end of the spectrum or the other. So the church has persons who are able to help with certainly the spiritual dimension. And is there a place for deliverance that you actually raise that? There is a place of prayer. There's a place of spiritual leadership, even with people who have mental health challenges. Because when you think about stress is a major trigger in terms of what's happening with our people. And the church has a role to play in helping people to de-stress. And that doesn't require any big degree or anything like that. The Word of God has a place to helping people to live these stressed lives. The prayer and bearing each other's burden, carrying each other's burden, providing support. So the church has a role to play in just being a representative, loving your neighbor as yourself, being Jesus to many, reaching out to the needy, caring for. The church has a role in building professionals. Well, let's say paraprofessionals, teachers and pastors and other people who are professionals, but not necessarily trained in mental health. They can play a role too. But then there are professionals within the church, psychologists, doctors, who are trained in this area. And of course, we're talking about now a triangle, and it gets narrows at the top. These are the professionals who are also within the church who are providing help and support.
Dr.
I would
Thomas,
also like to say,
go ahead, finish your thought.
The church needs to be very deliberate about destigmatizing mental health. What do we say of our people who need help with mental wellness? Are we labeling them as outcasts and looking at them and seeing no hope in them? We need to destigmatize that as much as possible and treat mental illness as illness like any other illness and get the right resources. The church has a role to be able to stay within her lane and be able to make referral to the institutions that are set up across the nation. The Ministry of Health has clinics around the nation. There's a 24-hour mental health helpline that we need to know what are the resources. Overall, the church needs to rise up and see the crowd as Jesus saw them in the midst of the brokenness and everything, and be moved with compassion and reach out and provide support at whatever level they are capable and able to.
Dr. Thomas, you mentioned that doctors were some of the persons who are the professionals who you should turn to when there are mental health challenges. When you say doctors, you mean all doctors, or you mean the psychiatrists among the doctors?
Well, all doctors are trained and are able to provide mental health support. And as you know, that profession specializes in making referrals. So they don't hesitate to be able to say, this is beyond me. So we need to send you to the right persons who are even more specialized.
Secondly, sir, go ahead, Dr. Thomas.
So let's not credit even the medical, the person who has MBBS training, get the help, and then the specialized, they can be a ladder to providing help and support. Just like the church needs to find the right persons to provide help and support.
Secondly, you made a very interesting statement. I'll call it interesting. You said that the church should stay in its lane. And you essentially indicated that when certain mental health challenges arise or are brought to the attention of persons in the church, whether professionals or paraprofessionals, or maybe you met the pastors, for example, that they should refer these people to the, let us say, the quote, right professionals. Why did you use the term the church should stay in its lane? It's a very interesting statement. Why did you say that? What do you mean by that?
All right. What I really mean is that many times we pretend to have answers and we are limited by our own training, our own experience. And the fact that we name the name of Jesus, it doesn't give us the answer to the diseases of cancer, of diabetes, and everything else. So, same thing with mental health. It is not necessarily that the person needs deliverance, and there's a place for that, but let's do the assessment and determine where on the spectrum is this person, and get the help we need to be able to understand more about the need and the starting point in people's lives. It is possible that what this church member needs is medication to be able to stabilize a person, to be able to think properly, to benefit from the psychotherapy, or to even benefit from understanding the word of God.
No, because this is a religious media station, Dr. Thomas. I'm only asking this because at this time because of we never enough time on the morning watch. Some persons, or let me just ask another way. Do you have a tug of war sometimes in relation to some persons in the church or who are church based who might say, well, the psychiatrist is saying the person needs medication, but the person is really has a demon, and the doctors don't understand that, and then the doctors are saying they are trained and they are seeing a mental health challenge, and the pastors are focusing on things which are considered by them to be irrelevant. How, if at all, is this ever resolved? Because you can see a potential clash or collision there, can't you?
Yeah, and I have had psychiatrists on my forum who I will not name publicly right now, who has just said he has had to say to his fellow psychiatrists and even his superiors, be careful how you handle that, because there's more to it than just giving medication. What the doctors know to a large extent is pumping medication, is giving medication. And so they stay in their lane in terms of giving medication. And sometimes that is the only answer they know. And I am saying that human being requires more than just medication, more than counseling, more than social intervention, or more than prayer and the word.
So, Dr.
What
Thomas,
we need is to treat people as holistic and be able to determine when a person comes to me. Pardon me, let me finish this thing. When a person comes to me,
please finish.
For instance, yes. I do an emotional assessment, and there are times when in the middle of the emotional assessment I see manifestation. What do? Talk to the manifestation of evil spirit and say, hold on, you can't manifest right now. I need to finish this.
So, Dr. Thomas, how do you strike that balance? If I could even use the term balance, how does one strike that balance in your field or in that field?
I have to determine what is the best help that the person needs. So, when a person comes to me, I'm sensitive to do I need to refer this person to a psychiatrist for further help? Do I need to get the counselor to focus on this? Does this person need 2 dozen chickens to be able to just help lift their mental health? Do I need to call Jamaica Broilers, as I've done before, and say, I'm working with a client who is down in the doldrums, and I believe if we can get a few dozen chickens, they can help to restore their hope of life? Or do I need prayer and deliverance? And that is the task that I have as I come to this as a minister of religion primarily, with exposure, my main area, suicide prevention. I have to determine what is the best help that is needed and be able to help the person to cross that. And I'm calling upon our fellow ministers to be open to a spectrum of services that can help to bring wellness to our congregations and our nation.
Dr. Thomas, we're literally out of time already, but it appears as if you need to have the wisdom of Solomon to be able to discern the way that you have to discern in your area, sir, of specialty, because you have to know when to do what to achieve the correct result for the person sitting before you. Am I correct, Dr. Thomas?
The wisdom of Jesus.
The wisdom of Jesus Christ himself. None other. Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. We are completely out of time. The wisdom of Jesus Christ himself. Thank you for your time and for your thoughts, Dr. Thomas. Thank you so much for being with us. Very interesting topic. Listeners, don't go anywhere at all. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch. Thank you, Dr. Thomas.
Anything a little savings in your hand.
The time by Jan Bank is
7:30 a.m.
We're counting down the days to that magical time of year. And at Active Home Center, we have so many gifts to share. Let's get together for the holidays and make every room and floor feel the magic this Christmas from the treasures we have in store. Tiles, kitchen and appliances, windows and doors, bathrooms, furniture, lighting, and so much more. Visit our showrooms in Kingston and Montego Bay or online at ActiveHomeCenter.com. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
Christmas is togetherness. Flow is giving you their best. Christmas is special savings. That's just what Flow is bringing. Christmas is the joy of giving. So that's just what you've been wishing. Oh, it's a celebration. Free phone and earbuds for you.
Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT.
Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by
Visit the
you.
Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Get better paying jobs overseas and locally with City and Guilds International Skills Certificates at IIRQ Academy. In 2 to 3 months, get qualified in welding, fabrication, and pipework, carpentry, construction, painting and decoration, and plant maintenance. No subjects required, no age limits, no entrance test. Register this week and get 2 subjects for free. Online face-to-face evening and Saturday classes begin very soon. Starting soon at IIRQ, 9 to 18 months, advanced diplomas and associate degrees in motor vehicle repairs, electrical and electronic engineering, and logistics supply chain management. Call us at 876-322-4029. Visit us at 32 Hope Road, Kingston, 1 Perry Road, Montego Bay.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Friends and family.
No matter where you are, there's something about the holiday season that always pulls you home to be with the people you love and care about.
This holiday season, let Sagicor Bank help you make that home your own with a special mortgage offer that gives you a $2 million line of credit. You could use to go solar and make your home eco-friendly. Put down your roots this Christmas with an affordable mortgage from Sagicor Bank. Conditions apply. Hello there. Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, JCPD, this year celebrates Disabilities Awareness under the theme Inclusion in Action, Building Accessible Communities from December 3 to 8, 2023. Come and join the celebrations as you play your part to ensure persons with disabilities are included equally and equitably in society. Let's work together to build inclusive communities for all. A message from the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers and other news sources to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And we have in Loop Jamaica News online. Another airline touches down in Jamaica for inaugural flight. Norse Atlantic to operate 4 flights a week between Jamaica and UK. We have in the Jamaica Observer, among the latest news, Cousins, that refers to opposition spokesperson on water and agriculture, Lothan Cousins. Cousins claims foreign fishers invading local waters due to legal loophole. Not true, says Agriculture Minister. That story by Alicia Smith of the Observer. We now turn to the Gleaner in what is arguably a developing story or a continuing story. Maduro, referring to the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro. Maduro orders the immediate exploitation of oil, gas, and mines in Guyana's Essequibo. Clearly, this is a matter to be watched very closely in this region because the dispute between Venezuela and Guyana continues. More anon definitely on that one. And those and many other stories in our various news sources, of course, coming up next, we'll read this and feedback in our Facebook and WhatsApp question, which is, what do you think of the JCF social media campaign so far? If you haven't done so yet, leave a comment on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
I am a man, yes.
Last week was so nice, we have to do it twice. You can't afford to miss this week's episode of The Mailbox as we look at Egotistical Men Part 2. Is the church responsible for egotistical men? Men who have an exaggerated sense of self-importance to believe they are superior to others? Well, you are invited to join the conversation with our esteemed guests, Apostle Courtney McLean, Head Pastor of Worship and Faith International Fellowship, WAFIF, and Minister Devon Thaw of the Men's Empowerment Group at WAFIF on Wednesday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. on the family station Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Let everything that
You're invited to listen to Praise Productions with hosts Jace the Performer and Renee as they highlight upcoming gospel ministers. Praise Productions can be heard Wednesdays at 6:40 p.m. Just who will you hear or what will you learn? You never can tell, but you are sure to be lifted, and blessed. Praise Productions, where whatever we do produces praise. Praise Productions, Wednesdays at 6:40 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Oh yes, let's praise him.
Welcome back. You're tuned into the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's join Jukal for a look at how our Facebook and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. What do you think of the JCF social media campaign so far? Jukal.
All right, so we do have some responses here. The first one is from Sister Ennis. She says, I think their social media campaign is engaging, but I hope they can be more engaging with real people. Just saying. Edna from Montego Bay, let's hear what she has to say. She has a voice note.
Good morning. Morning, Watch. Good morning, Love 101 listeners and staff. Compliments of the season to you all. My take on the JCF social media campaign, I think it's a good venture. In the age of technology that we are in now, yes, I think it's a good thing. And there's a lot of traffic on the social media platform. So I endorse it. So all the best.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Edna. This person, Monica, says, all the social media initiatives will not change the image of the JCF until the lazy, inept, and corrupt police are no longer there and the blue wall of silence dispelled. Respect and professionalism by its members will encourage public confidence and trust, better than any social media presence, to serve, protect, and reassure citizens. And that's the last one we have there.
Thank you, Jukal. Very interesting. Well, we go right into the second watch. Who is or who are the brains behind the Jamaica Constabulary Force's social media campaign? It's serious business, but the fun and game vibes have attracted much attention, and maybe it's even impacted with positive results. We have as our guests today to help us to look at this, Corporal Kayla Keane, social media manager of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, Head of the Constabulary Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Good morning to you both. How are you? Corporal
Good
Keane,
morning.
SSP Lindsay.
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Great. Is that...
Hello, good morning.
Okay, so we now have SSP Lindsay. Yes, good.
Hello.
Yes, SSP Lindsay, I think we're hearing you loud and clear. And I think we heard Corporal Keane.
Yes.
Great having you on, both of you. You may repeat that, SSP Lindsay. Repeat.
No, I was just checking if you had Kayla on.
I heard a
Yes,
voice,
ma'am, I'm also
and
here.
she indicated yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she indicated that she was on. Now, who is or are the brains behind the recent Jamaica Constabulary Forces social media push? SSP Lindsay, I know that you're on as the head of the Constabulary Communications Unit. Would you like to comment on that?
Certainly. So it's got to be so recent because it started some time ago where we recognize that in order to get our messages out and the audiences that we're targeting, we need to be coining our content in a way that it's reaching those persons. So before so it's the corporate communication unit. It's a small unit, brilliant minds of young people and a mix, and we collectively decide we have a strategy, a communication strategy that's around it. In addition to that strategy, then we have different teams. So for instance, currently before corporate team, we had Sean J. Mitchell. Yes, Sean J. Mitchell, he was promoted and transferred. And then corporate team now, she's the person who heads our social media department. So we like to where I sit, we give the directive, we create the content, we approve it. So it's a team approach, but the day-to-day management and creativity, corporate team, and as a team, we have a team of graphic artists, and we have people who create the content. So it's a team approach, but corporate team currently has that department.
Well, let's talk to Corporal Keane right now. Corporal Keane, I know that you're in the JCF, and everything in the JCF, and let me not say everything, many things in the JCF are top secret. But without giving away any secrets, Corporal Keane, would you like to tell us what a typical day is like for you in your unit as a social media manager?
Certainly. All right. So the thing that is amazing about Team JCF, the corporate communications unit, is that unlike some other corporate bodies in Jamaica that deals with integrated marketing communication, we are actually allowed freedom and creativity to generate ideas that are out of the box without being told that, no, let's probably use a traditional means. So we're allowed to be creative. And that is what makes us amazing.
Okay.
So we will sit together as a team during our ideation sessions. We will come up with some out of the box concepts, and then we will run it by management, and we together tweak it until it looks like something that we'd want to say. Then we have a small test group from the social media unit as well as the other units within corporate comms. And once we test that message, we will stress test it there, and then we will push it out to the wider Jamaica. And so far, we have only got positive reviews. So that means that we're doing something right.
Quickly before we head to the break, what is the purpose behind the social media method? What are you trying to convey? Is it that you're saying somebody is wanted, you want to catch them? Is it that you're communicating a message to do something or not to do something? What is the purpose? What are you trying to communicate through these, what you call them, memes, or however you describe them?
All right. So the thrust of our communication is that our major three focus is the capture of wanted men, or to put it simply, guns, gangs, and wanted persons are our major focus.
Guns, gangs, and wanted persons are the major focus. Hold that thought, Corporal Keane, because we are now upon a break. Hold that thought. Listeners, please stay with us. Very interesting. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Time is now 7:45 a.m. and we also want to remind you that the Morning Watch is brought to you today with the kind sponsorship of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
JPS said you fit stay current. That's right. Update your cell phone number and email address with JPS and stay in the know on important details like account and system upgrades, emergency and maintenance notifications, usage and promotional info, and so much more. Use the My JPS mobile app, DM them online, or call to update your info today. And whatever you do, stay current. JPS takes the security of your data very seriously. Visit the JPS website at www.jpsco.com for more information. JPS, powering what matters.
Scotiabank invites you to celebrate Christmas in the Park. Enjoy a fun-filled evening of family entertainment on Thursday, December 7 at the Emancipation Park. Come see performances from talented young performers, including the Panoramic Steel Orchestra, Ashe, Voice Box, St. Andrew High School Choir, and more. Live on stage with the sensational gospel superstar Kevin Downswell.
You make me stronger.
That's Scotiabank Christmas in the Park on December 7, 2023. Gates open at 5 p.m. Admission free. Merry Christmas from Scotiabank with Cinco, Grace Kennedy, and Jablom.
After the first year, your little one's brain continues to develop rapidly. NAN3 with its advanced formula, specially designed for children from 1 year, keeps their development on track, helps nurture their possibilities with the exclusive combination of optimized protein, HMO, probiotics, and DHA. NAN3, nurturing their possibilities. NAN3 is not a breast milk substitute. It is specially suited to children from 1 year onward.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Call me shrewd. I am getting in when the markets are attractively priced.
Call me smart. I am getting set to capitalize when the markets have increased potential. Call me savvy. I have a mix of wise investments, so I'm earning no matter the season.
They're all investing in Sagicor Investments Sigma Global Funds, like our US dollar Sigma Global Equity and Sigma Real Growth. Never settle for less than your dreams. Start investing now in Sigma Global Funds. Call 888 Sagicor to speak with a Sagicor Investments Wealth Advisor. Conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch, and the topic is the impact of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's social media, the impact of the JCF via social media. Our guests are Corporal Kayla Keane, social media manager of the JCF, and SSP Stephanie Lindsay, head Constabulary Communications Unit of the JCF. Now, just before the break, Corporal Keane, you are indicating to us that the thrust or the push behind the social media campaign can be summarized as follows: guns, gangs, and wanted persons. Take us from there, Corporal Keane.
So if it makes it easier, you can also call it the 3 Gs: guns, gangs, and gunmen. So those are the 3.
Only men? That is a sexist comment.
No, you know, like how people say policeman, but I'm not a policeman.
Please continue. I was joking.
Yes, but I don't take it personal because I understand that it's a male-dominated field.
It's a male-dominated field.
Right.
That's an interesting thought for a social scientist to consider, a male-dominated field. Continue,
Right.
Corporal Keane.
So, in addition to that, we tend to have more gun men than females who
Than women.
are, yes.
Yes.
Right. So in our campaign, we have broken down the side that speaks to gunmen to have a feature that is called wanted ladies.
And forgive me, but just to continue the joke, Corporal Keane, you're not asking for equity in that area, are you?
No.
Okay, continue, Corporal Keane. Go ahead.
Right. So we have subdivided the areas, and there has been a very strong focus on persons who are deviants as it relates to gunmen. I don't know if you'd like to call them gun person.
No. Please continue.
Right. So, we have developed a feature that is called Wanted Wednesdays that focuses on providing information to the public on all the persons who are wanted and soliciting information from them to be sent in to our 311 Crime Stop number.
311. Just repeat that for those listening. The 3.
So our 311 number is our Crime Stop number to which persons can make anonymous reports to the police.
Thank you.
So you don't have to give us a name. You don't have to give us a number. The calls come up as private on our end, so we don't have your information. The only time we'll need information from you is when your tip has led to the arrest or capture or seizure of a person that we're looking for, or a gun or something illicit. And we will need your information. Well, not your information. We'll need information on where you will collect your funds, whether it is that you want us to drop it under a barrel somewhere, or you want us to put it in a bag on a fence somewhere. You will tell us and we will do that. So you are rewarded for being a good citizen.
Interesting. Guns, gangs, and gunmen.
Right. So because we recognize that a large part of the target audience that has information on gangs, and gunmen, as well as the persons who are perpetrators, fall within two particular generational cohorts, and that is millennial and Gen Z. So we have decided to go straight to the target audience by using the platforms that they're more likely to be present on, which is, of course, social media, inclusive of TikTok, Twitter, or X, as it is now called, Threads, Instagram, and Facebook.
Only those? There are a couple others. I mean, I'm just asking.
Those are the most predominant ones. We also use YouTube, but in terms of our focus area, to get to generations Z and millennials or Y, that's those are the platforms that we focus on.
Understood. SSP Lindsay. What have the results been so far? Because at the end of the day, as SSP, you want results. How have the results been for you so far?
So far, the results are very good. And as Ms. Kennedy mentioned, the Young Gun and Gunmen campaign, what we do at the CCU is very much tied to the wider JCS strategic priority for communication. And that was a theme that was used last year by the commissioner, and from there, because one of the reasons I think we are so successful as a communication unit is the support we get from the commissioner of police. He's very keen on what we do, and we have seen since we break down these things in campaigns, and we have seen since we started, Crime Stop increase in their numbers in terms of tips to them. In addition to the Crime Stop tip line, we also have and our anonymous tip line, our 811 tip line. There we have seen increase in communication, and there are a lot of behind the scenes things, results that we get as a result of our campaigns, that people will actually inbox us at the CCU to give us information, even internally. So we spoke earlier about a typical day. A typical day is where the divisional commanders are calling, the investigators are calling. This is a situation, we have these persons that we need to get out there, and we are pushing. So we have seen we are internally, we are getting more people, sending information that's getting out in the public domain. We are also seeing where people in the public are appreciating the content. And I think one of the things that my creative team has done very well is to use current issues to assign it, whether it's a song, whether it's an earthquake, whether it's an orchid, what's current, because people are looking on to get the messages out. And that's how we create the narrative and the content that's getting out there. And the results are very, 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 very good. And I have to commend my team. Of course, we all have to do this together, but, and we have to commend members of the public who constantly pushes the information. And not only do we push content, but we also manage our pages we scan the traditional and social media landscape to see where people are complaining about issues or raising issues, and we realize that we probably need to educate them about the things. Sometimes we have to provide the correct information because it may come through a blog that they see, but it's not totally correct. So a typical day is that we are also scanning social media, looking at what other people are putting out, and ensuring that if it's something about the JCF, it's factual, and if it is not, then we have to get the correct information out there. So another thing I like about our unit, unlike other agencies, because every day I get a message, who manages your social media? Which company does it? We outsource nothing. Everything that we put out is done in-house by my team. So we are able to create it just the way we want it to be done.
You know, SSP Lindsay as well as Corporal Keane, what I thought one of you might have said, although probably you don't want to praise yourselves, and this is my observation, if I could say that. My observation, looking at some of the social media that you have out there, is that it appears to lift. I don't want to say improve. I want to say lift the image of the force. The social media comes across looking very fresh, looking very modern, and you have persons who are speaking on the platforms, in your social media, excellent diction, and it just makes you look like a better modern police force. I don't know if you want to make a comment on that, because how has the public made any comments along those lines, or is it just me? SSP Lindsay.
So we get that every day, and you are correct, because the Jamaica Constabulary Force, we have been transforming. We have started a process of transformation now over 5 years. We have intensified that. The corporate communication unit we are the face of the JCF, and we know that we are a transformed force. We're an ISO 9001 certified organization for our quality. We won the 2022 JCC Yellow Communication Award. That's a big award. We went up against some big company, big budget and all of that. So there's no doubt that people are looking on. We have no doubt that our content is of very good quality. And it is something that is very deliberate. We have done it over time. We're coming from a place where the JCF was not seen as an entity with brilliant minds, and we wanted to recognize in that way. But I can tell you that the caliber of people in the JCF, not just the communication unit, if you follow us, when you look at our commanders, when they go there and they
agree with you, SSP.
Their members, it's just refreshing. We don't get those
right across the board
sentiments anymore. It's across the board that we are a transform organization, still working on what we do, but it is not by chance. We have done a lot of work to be where we are, and we are very proud. The image for us is very, very important, and when we even put our brand, because we are brand JCF, and when persons hear that brand JCF is going to be a part of what they're doing, everybody's stepping up their game. And I'm not bragging, but they know that JCF is going to come fresh, they're going to come professional, and they're going to come good.
SSP Lindsay, only because of time and because I don't want them to chase us out of the studio, I want to thank you for your time and for your thoughts. Corporal Keane, thank you so much. You're managing the social media. SSP Lindsay, you're overall in charge of the communications unit. Continue the excellent job that you're doing with the social media and generally speaking. Thank you for your time and for your thoughts today.
All right, thank you.
And thank you all listeners for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we look at other topical and controversial issues. Visit the Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for this and all other Love 101 FM programs. Listen to the Morning Watch on our Love 101 app. Download it today and stay connected to the family station, Love 101 FM, the #1 gospel station in Jamaica. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and to our guests. I am Stokeley Marshall, hanging back to Love in the Morning with Jakal.
We want to thank the Ministry of Labor and Social Security for sponsoring the Morning Watch today, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.